What is up, YouTube, and welcome to this His Dark Materials Season 2 finale. And oh boy, was that a depressing end to the season, but was also a stunningly shot masterpiece of television, especially in 4K. Please be warned, there will be spoilers for the Season 2 finale and some book spoilers as we discuss that post-credit scene. We pick up pretty much directly from last week as Lyra, Will and the witches escape the spectres as Will used a subtle knife to shoo those soul suckers away. Lyra is wanting to send the witches away as they're not safe as the spectres kill adults, and Will also feels the same as they have a back and forth throughout the episode. As we cut to the witch sent to go and find Azrael last week, she wakes up and hears some creatures talk about the Great War, which will be Lord Azrael's forces versus the Authority, a deity akin to God in the Christian religion. He needs something or the battle won't actually go his way, which is the subtle knife. I won't attempt to pronounce the true name that they call it, lest I absolutely butcher it, but Will is needed as he is the bearer, and the knife will be used to defeat the Authority. Will is also having visions of his father, as his father says that he has a weapon that can destroy the Authority, and the Authority, essentially God, has terrible people keeping people downtrodden like the Mysterium in Lyra's world, in really every single world. Pan talks to him after he wakes up and says how Lyra thinks that he's the bravest person she knows, and he says pretty much the same thing about her, and she hears the whole thing. She's starting to grow up, which is hinted at when she later asks Pan what he might settle on, and he says a flea, just like he stated in the book. And we are entering the endgame here of the two, as well we have a very painful ending coming at the end of Season 3. And it cuts to Will's dad and Lee Scoresby, who landed after being hunted by the Magistrate's forces, but luckily Will's dad knows exactly where the knife bearer is, and it wasn't until Will and his dad were reunited that I realised that he had no idea who the bearer really is. Coulter walks around Cittàgazze as she looks for Lyra, but a witch was sent to protect the people in the city, only to come across the absolute badass Coulter as they fight, and Coulter interrogates her all about Lyra as we learn that the prophecy names Lyra's real name as Eve, the one who brought about the fall. Of course, the fall of man is inevitable, as at first it was Adam and Eve, with Eve ending man's obedience to God, and now it will happen again with Lyra, as it would mean the fall of the Authority. This was a brutal scene, how Coulter uses the Spectre to kill her after, and of course this leaves Coulter with even more motivation to look for Lyra. She also led a Spectre to almost attack her monkey, which if the monkey was killed, man, I would have turned that TV right off then and there. But that was a powerful scene, and Ruth Wilson remains the best part of this whole show. She's one of those TV villains which you absolutely love to hate. Think Gustavo Fring, Jaime Lannister, and many others. I'm a bit disappointed with Mary's story this episode, as I hoped for a bit more, which it didn't, as she's really just been wandering around Cittàgazze for 2 episodes. She has a lot going on in the future, and she will be integral in Season 3 of the Amber Spyglass. She actually has quite a lot to do. She left the city looking for Lyra, and in that book she actually heads into another world, but really this episode brings the others to the forefront, which makes sense story-wise, as Coulter capturing Lyra was pretty much her whole end goal, and Will meeting his father was the end goal, so it'll be interesting to see where Mary goes next. However, the other big part of the episode was Lee and Will's dad. As they land, they are spotted as a magistrate demon flies over. Now, the witch actually arrives from attempting to find Azrael and informs Seraphina that there are evil Authority forces in every world, hinting the Great War is coming, as people from every world will unite to defeat the Authority. The world she was in, finding Azrael that looked like Mordor, was so very, very cool, and I hope to see more of these different worlds as we head through into Season 3. The subtle knife is needed and will be integral to defeat the head angel known as the Authority, and his right-hand angel, the Metatron, will be an absolute savage next season. Seraphina says how the prophecy ends when she takes Will and Lyra to Lord Azrael, and that is her main task, and she sends the witch off to do whatever Lord Asriel asks of her. To be honest, this felt more like an episode before a finale, as it moves everything into place for next season, to be honest, more than having a culmination in some ways, as the culminations of the stories we got this season were kind of a bit of a letdown, in my opinion. Sadly, Lee Scorby does actually die as he sacrifices himself to save Will's father. He hates taking lives as it's not his to take, but he says to his demon how it's okay as it's really the lives that he takes, or Lyra's, or his life, or Lyra's. And this was a really, really touching scene. Lin-Manuel Miranda was superb this season, and to be honest, I'm a bit gutted he died, and I low-key hoped that they changed the books, as when Serafina went to save him, I thought she would actually save him from his own personal Alamo there, but unfortunately, Lin-Manuel is no longer with us, and I hope that we get more Asriel next season to make up for that. We finally get to see Will, and he meets his dad, John, only for him to be shocked that his son is the knife bearer. Will finally gets an explanation as to why his father left, and he found countless worlds that need help, and he did this not only to save them, but save his son Will. They have a tender moment, only for him to be shot by a magistrate agent in the book, which did actually kill him, as she was a scorned ex-lover, which I always thought was a bit silly. So they've changed that here, and I think it works a lot better, although it was kind of out of the blue. And the pacing fell off as we spent 7 episodes trying to get those to reunite, only for him to just, die. Yeah. Weirdly, the end of the episode changed as the end of the Subtle Knife book is cut out, as Will was actually sent to be taken by 2 angels as he heads back into Chittagazi, but we get a speech from Asriel. I expect that scene and the angels who will throw down with other angels as they try and fight over who gets will be the start of next season. We then see shots of Serafina fly and Lorek watch the ice melt due to Asriel's experiment, and Tear, we finally got a shot of James McAvoy make a speech, which we later saw was the angels, the rebel ones who rebelled against the authority. The leader who lied about how everything was created is going to be very, very annoyed by this. I wish we had more Asriel, but I guess James McAvoy is expensive or something, or it just didn't really fit the story to have more of Asriel. He wants to have a republic of heaven above and a republic of ideas below. The authority and his forces do repress free thought, which is what Asriel is rebelling against. There's also the issue of dying worlds like Lorix and the one that Mary will go to as a result of leaking dust, but I won't say any more on that. We finally see the angels, which look absolutely stunning as their translucent bodies are revealed, and we see them and they just look so cool. Even if you didn't like the show, you have to admit that the cinematography, the set design and everything just looks stunning, especially in 4K because it just looks unreal. Then catch up with Coulter, as earlier in the episode she did capture Lyra. She's keeping her in a cave, which we will find out at the start of next season, and in her own messed up way she's looking after her and protecting her, but she wants to protect the authority and the status quo, which I'm confused about because she seems to not like that, but she's removed herself from humanity, I think, here now, so she's just doing things for her own gain. Finding Lyra will be a key part of next season, as all of the forces will converge on this cave, which will be really cool. But we get a post-credit scene, which if you didn't see it, I will give you a chance to go away and watch it now. So just pause it here and come back. You still here? Okay, so this is curious as we actually see Roger. So Roger is, dead, of course, we saw him die, and he is actually in the world of the dead, a parallel universe the authority uses as a prison. This is actually a vision that Lyra has in the book in her drugged state, and dreams of Roger in this land of the dead, and will go on to save him next season. I love this and the world being brought to life, but I can't help but think that it was a bit slow, and at times it could have been used to have a bit of a kick up the butt to get things going a tiny bit quicker, or maybe have a few less episodes to get the pacing a bit better. We know half the scripts for season 3 have been given to the BBC, but of course filming may take a while, and I wouldn't expect the next season next year, but hey, anything can happen, as on HBO Max they do need the content. However, it's been a joy bringing you this content over the last few weeks, and if you did enjoy what I bring to you, please do drop a like down below, and do subscribe with notifications on, because we bring you this content pretty much daily, a variety of cult, geek and comic book stuff. So please do stick around here as we're covering The Stand weekly that is on CBS All Access. But that is it for this video. I'll see you soon, and I'll see you back for Season 3. Goodbye.